everyone, how are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. My name is Dr. Iyabo. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm actually shooting this video from sunny Florida. I'm on vacation with my family in Alice Beach, and I'm so glad that you're here with me on my channel. Of course, this video, it was an impromptu one. I didn't really plan to shoot it, but as I read the Meghan Markle and Prince Harry story over and over and over, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to share my story on how there's so many parallels with her story and my story. Now, there are many parallels, but there's one also big parallel that is not the same. But I really wanted to do this video to really just bring out one factor, that marriage can be tough. Marriage can be tough, but if the basis and the foundation of your marriage is love for each other, then nothing can come in between you guys. If you truly love each other and you're truly committed to each other, absolutely nothing will split you apart. And the story of Meghan and Prince Harry is just really wonderful for me because it brings so many parallels to my previous marriage and my current marriage, and how there's so many similarities, but there's also one big difference. So whatever your story is, whether your story is you've had a story that is more similar to their story or is similar to mine, the basis of this video that I'm doing today, you guys know that my platform is everything about women development, and my aim and my motive is always to empower women, to strengthen them, and to help you, to give you tools to live your best life. So here we go. I'm going to dive into it. Obviously, if you don't know the story of Meghan and Prince Harry and the interview they just had with Oprah yesterday, then you definitely need to go and look that up. But what are the parallels between my story? I'm a 50-year-old Nigerian-American woman who's married to an English-American guy, and he is 57. Actually, we're both about to turn 51 and 58 next month. Both our birthdays are in April. Now, what is the parallel between my story and my husband Neil's story and Meghan and Prince Harry's story? Well, the parallel between their stories is that, well, I'm a black Nigerian-American woman who married an English-American Caucasian guy. He was born and raised in London, England. I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria. We were both married before. We both had kids before. He had 2 sons before. I had 2 daughters before. We both got divorced, and then we met in Atlanta, Georgia, and we got married. And the one difference between Meghan and Prince Harry's wedding, marriage, and mine is that my husband's family loves and supports me. His mom is no longer alive, but his dad is alive. He's going to be 90 this year. His dad supports me. He's very loving towards me. His older sister, she lives in England, but we do talk to her on the phone. I know she loves and supports me. So we do have the parallel that I am a black woman. Meghan is also black because she identifies with being black. She's mixed, but she identifies with being black. Her mother is black. I believe her dad is all white. And Prince Harry, who is English, and my husband is English. But the difference is that the royal family, again, I don't want to say news that I'm not completely sure about, but according to Oprah's interview, she did have a hard time being married to him, and that's why they moved away. However, the opposite is for me, is that actually my current marriage, my father-in-law totally accepts me, and his kids accept me, and his sister, and everything is nice and lovely with that. However, I want to make comparison with what she is going through now with what I went through in my previous marriage. However, my previous marriage was with a Nigerian man. It was with a Nigerian man. Those of you who've been following me for a while and you've heard my story, you know what I'm about to say. But those of you who are new and who don't know who I am, I'm going to share the story with you. Marriage can be very, very difficult if your husband's family doesn't accept you. And it is not always just in mixed, blended, interracial families. You can hear what I just said. The first part of this story was that, yes, She's black, I'm black, he's English, my husband's English. That's very similar to our story, right? Very, very similar. However, one big contrast is that my husband's English family actually accepts me and hers doesn't accept her. However, I have another similarity with her story from my previous marriage, but that was actually with a Nigerian guy and my husband, So my story then was that my husband, again, was from a divorced family. His mom and his dad were not together, and his mom just obviously did not like me. If she's watching this video and she doesn't agree, I guess she can say that, or if my ex doesn't agree, but I knew that from day one, she just didn't like me, and there was always one thing or the I could feel the vibes. She said it to me when my husband wasn't around. I don't have to air all that dirty laundry out, but I was with my ex for 23 years. I met him when I was 17. We got married when I was 25, and I got divorced from him. I filed for divorce at the age of 39, almost 40. Why? Because I had a hard time with his mom. She just would not accept me for one reason or the other. It just wasn't good. And my ex-husband at the time just didn't defend me enough. He didn't, I didn't do anything wrong. I was just being myself. You guys know who I am. I'm a very driven, passionate, but kind, but humble. I'm just who I am, and I'm a doctor. I'm very ambitious. I'm who I am, but for some reason, that just wasn't acceptable. So yeah, that just went on and on and on. I'm having to get into this battle with, the mom-in-law. I'm having to do all that back and forth, and that's a battle you really cannot win. If you've watched some of my videos, how do you win that kind of battle when the person that you're even married with does not defend you or say, well, this is my wife, this is the person I married, no matter what it is that you say or do, this is my wife, I'm sorry, this is my home. I didn't get that. I got the opposite. The opposite was, well, this is my mom, how can you tell me what to do with this and that? She's my mom, I'm going to listen to her. So this tug of war went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Yes, and honestly, I understand exactly what Meghan went through, because it is tough. It is tough not being accepted by the family that you've married into. It is very, very tough. It's depressing. It's sad. It makes you just age. Then I was aging so rapidly. In my late 20s to 30s, and then I was having kids at the time. My practice was busy. I had just started my practice. So it was a lot not having that support from the family I married into, right? So obviously, he also had siblings who I could also feel the animosity from. So it's like the mom-in-law, the brother-in-law, the sister-in-law, and the husband are not supporting you. They feel that you're this wife who's just not good enough in their eyes for some reason or the other. And it was tough. So for me, that was the reason that I got a divorce after 15 years of marriage and after 23 years of being together. But I understand what she's going through. However, she has the support and the love of her husband. And I commend Prince Harry. I wish that I knew him personally, or I could send him a message and say, kudos to you for standing up for your wife. Kudos to you for not putting up for that kind of rebellion or whatever, the statements about maybe your child is going to be too dark-skinned or whatever. Kudos to you for not putting up with that, because there are not many men out there who do that, who support their wives instead of their family. There are not many. My story is the common one that I hear. It is very, very hard for men to support their wives and disagree with what their mom or dad or family is talking about. It's very, very rare. So I really commend Prince Harry, and I even commend him more than any regular guy, because he's born into the royal family, right? It's like there's so much that family holds, and their status and everything. It is pure courage and pure boldness that, you know, and just being a unique personality and really just loving his wife intensely so much that he left all that to find happiness with his wife. So I wanted to bring up that story because as I kept on pondering and thinking about it more and more, I'm like, this story has some parallels to my story, but it also doesn't. But it has many parallels because, unfortunately for me, I went through that too with my ex's family. But, you know, we weren't even in a mixed, it wasn't a cultural mix. We were both Nigerians, but I still felt the opposition and the animosity from that side, and I didn't have the support of my ex though. That was the difference with my marriage. That was why I couldn't cope with everything that was going on. Trust me, was it suicidal ideation? I felt it. The people who are close to me, I told them that story. My mom knew of that story, may her soul rest in peace. The day that I started to have suicidal ideation, my mom, my dad knew of it. I called them and I told them about how I was feeling, and they said, enough is enough. You cannot give up your life because of this one person. So I know how she feels. I empathize with her because it is tough, because that's the family that your husband came from. You know, how do you battle the family where he came from? You can't, but she is at least, you know, blessed with a husband who supported her, who is supporting her, and who's fighting for her, and decided to leave it all and go with her, because not many do that. Not many. So you guys may not have watched my video that I said, if your man doesn't have this one thing, run away. I'm going to attach it. I'm going to link it to this video as it ends, so that as soon as you finish watching this video, you go and watch that video, because that video is all about what I talked about in here and more. Even before the Meghan Markle story came out, I had published that story on my YouTube video. So I'm going to make sure I link it, so just click onto it as this video ends. But I really wanted to come on to just give you the parallels of my own story, and I hope that the lessons from my story will help you. Again, watch the video that is coming onto this, combine the lessons in that with the lessons in this one, and make sure that you use that to decide, those of you who are single and divorced, that you use that to decide your partner, okay? If you're seeing signs in your future partner that his family does not like who you are for some reason, they may think you're too tall or too short, too ambitious, too proud, too full of yourself, too pretty, too well-read, too educated, whatever it is that their problem is. If you're seeing those signs when you're dating, that is food for thought for you. You know that you're going into a battleground. Know that you're going into a battlefield. If you're seeing those signs, or people are telling you before you get married, be careful about this guy's family. They're very overbearing, or be careful about his mom. She's very hard to please. He's a mommy's boy, you know, blah, blah. Just don't say that, oh no, she doesn't live with us. She can't have any effect on us. That's not true. That's what I said. Okay, we were living in different continents. We were in England, in Europe, first of all, in England, then we moved to America. She always lived in Lagos, Nigeria, but she still had 1,000 effect and control over her son. Okay, there's phones, there's communications. They don't have to be in your town or living on your streets to control your husband. So just know what you're going into, and then try to figure out if your husband is the type who's going to support you, or if he's not going to support you. If you don't feel he's the type that is going to support you, if he's totally a mommy's boy or daddy's boy and going to listen to everything his parents say and not support you, I will advise you to run the other way and find another partner. However, if your husband seems like the person that will support you regardless of what his family is saying, then you can go into it. But I'm telling you, it's tough. I know what Meghan went through. I went through it for a big chunk of my marriage. When we were dating, I didn't see those features in her. People told me that that would probably be the case of what would happen. I didn't listen. Because I was 17 years, 20 years, you know, all I was naive. I didn't listen to people. But that was exactly what my battle was my entire marriage, until I said, okay, I've had enough, I'm moving on, I'm not going to battle his family anymore. So, Meghan, I know you probably won't watch my video, but if you do for some divine reason, I empathize with you. I'm 50 years old, but I understand what it is you went through, because I went through it as well. But you are lucky, you're blessed that you have a husband who is supporting you and who's standing by you regardless of what the drama is in his family. So this is why I wanted to do this video. I'm sure there's some women that will learn from this. I'm sure there's women that will learn from Meghan's story. You are not only getting married to your husband, you're getting married to all these other people in his family who you don't even know who they are, who may be pretending to be nice and sweet and lovely when you're dating, but who may transform their behavior as soon as you get married, or as soon as you get pregnant with their child, they call their child, that is when you'll see their true colors. So women, marriage can be beautiful, but it can also be really tough. So you have to put all these lessons together, open up all your senses, be wise about what you're going into, and ask God to show you the way and to intervene and to help you make the best decision. So again, this was an impromptu video, but I really wanted to do it because of what's in the news and because I lived that life, even though it was in a different way. So that's why I said my not so Meghan Markle life story, okay? There's a plane going above. I hope you can still hear me. I'm shooting this video outside. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, please comment below. Let's have a dialogue about what's going on in the news, and let's have a dialogue of what I just told you about my story. Let's learn from each other so that we can help those coming behind us, and we can even help the divorced women who are in middle age or who are in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and all of that. So I hope you will like this video. I hope you'll comment below. Let's have a dialogue. And I hope if you're not yet subscribed, you will hit that subscribe button as it comes up. The picture of my face will come up. Just click onto that or click on the subscribe button below, because I have many other videos coming up very soon. Take care. If you're single or divorced, I wish you all the best in your dating and courting, and I hope you marry your soulmate and the man of your dreams. Thanks for watching. Love you all. God bless. Bye-bye.